Hey, core reporters, welcome back to my channel. Listen, this morning I watched the season 11 premiere of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and I kind of figured why not talk about it with you, see if you guys are into this show or not. When Love and Hip Hop like just first hit in general, I believe the first city was New York. I was like a fond. I was really into it, but it's been a while since I watched it, and I kind of figured, okay, now that it's on MTV versus like those other stations where like it's really hard to get internationally, let me dive back in. So, one thing that really stuck out to me this episode was the breakup. Well, not even breakup, but the divorce situation between Bambi and Scrappy. One thing that really disgusted me about it was the fact that this man was not paying his half of the rent. And so ultimately, his family wound up getting evicted. And that is why I can't, like, the way that he yells at her. You see the scene of the two of them just like screaming, and he's taking no responsibility for it. Like, it's just gross. But that happens a little bit later on in the episode. I'm going to back things up to take things from the top. So at the very top of the episode, we see Spice, who is a Jamaican musical artist, and she talks about having a medical emergency. She had sepsis going on, and then she technically kind of died and was brought back to life, and she had to have emergency surgery and everything. It was really, really sad, but I'm happy to see that she is doing much better. We also learned that Rashida is still Kirk's long-suffering wife. I don't understand why this woman is such a glutton for punishment. She seems like such a nice lady, but she just allows that man to treat her like absolute dirt, and it's really sad to see. Honestly, I hate to see women with such high threshold for like suffrage at the hands of men. My threshold is at like it's dirt low, okay? Like, it's about this much off the ground. Do something to me that makes me feel like crap one good time and I'm out. I'm not going to be a Rashida. I'm not going to be one of these other girlies who's going to like forgive time and time again. I don't do that. So it's always sad to see girls accept getting played and whatnot. It's just, I don't know. Come on, guys, let's lift the self-esteem a little bit here. Now, one thing I do want to say was Bambi was absolutely stunning this episode. I loved her pink confessional dress, the hair, the jewelry, everything just works perfectly. Like, if you guys know where she got this dress, please do let me know in the comment section, because I low-key want one for myself. I don't know where I'm going to wear it. Maybe a wedding. I'm going to Turkey for a wedding this fall. So maybe I can get something like that for it, but please, please, please hook a sister up. She looked gorgeous. So we see her go to her divorce lawyer to officially pull the plug on her marriage to Scrappy. And I say good for her. Don't be a Rashida hanging on while a man disrespects you time and time and time and time again, spitting in your face and just being a complete and utter piece of crap. If he does that to you, bounce, leave. So I'm really, really proud of her for not sticking around for more. Now, Rashida does take all the girls because everyone's having relationship problems and just problems in general. So, and look at how beautiful she is, by the way. She's literally a Barbie doll. She's absolutely gorgeous. Like, why put up with that no good trifling man? Like, you are leaps and bounds above him, Rashida, please. So anyway, everybody's really upset. So she takes them all to a smash room to vent and just break things with the faces of their lovers on it. And so, of course, Erica Mena still has Safari on the mind with all of the issues that they've got surrounding the children and their own divorce and whatnot. So she is just blah, blah, blah. One of the things that she says as she's smashing something is, this is for you jetting off to dance and party in Jamaica while your child, your newborn, was in the NICU on a feeding tube. And honestly, I am just so disgusted for her that shell of a man would just abandon his own child like that. Absolutely disgusting. Now, Jessica White comes along, and mind you, Jessica White, oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. Jessica White, I'm having a late night dinner. That's why. Normally we do dinner at like 8 o'clock with my friends, but today we couldn't get a reservation at this really nice restaurant until 9:45. So I'm like, Grace, stay awake. So anyway, Jessica White, normally she's like this really, really beautiful model. She had like the Rimmel beauty campaign. She replaced Tyra, I think, in Cover Girl and whatnot. And she is out here crying about serial breeder Nick Cannon. And I'm like, really, girl? Like, you don't have anything else going on? I mean, I guess. We've heard the story a million times over, right? So she says that she and Nick were in an 8-year relationship. honestly, the timeline doesn't really add up to me because that man has had so many like girlfriends in that span of time and kids and whatnot. So I don't know where she fit in and why she was taking this like, breeder seriously. Like that guy is bottom of the freaking barrel. Who knows what he is crawling with at this point, the way he, you know, D's everyone down indiscriminately. Like I'd be disgusted. I'm disgusted just talking about him. I can't imagine being in his presence. Like people like that just gross me the F out. So she talks about how the situation degraded her or downgraded her from supermodel to her harem member, which is, I'm sorry, Chaz, but it's kind of funny because you guys are all in a harem. You're in a breeding harem at the end of the day. What do you want us to say about it? Don't call us mean just because we're calling a spade, okay? I don't understand why you ladies are choosing to participate in this degeneracy. She could have done so much better than this. She truly could have. Now, I do hope she's doing okay because she was kind of worrying me when I was seeing her in the confessional, but I will kind of leave that at that. Now, Scrappy goes out to hang out with his friends and they talk about relationships and whatnot, of course, right? So Scrappy talks about how like he was sliding into the DMs for one of his ex-girlfriends. I believe her name is Diamond or something like that. And those boys are all just like encouraging him and like acting like Bambi is crazy for not really approving of him being away from home for like shows and stuff like that because she's scared that he's going to cheat on her because she already saw him emotionally cheating via Instagram DMs, and I was like, ugh, with friends like this, who needs enemies? People who will lead you astray. When my friends are acting foolish in life or in love, I tell them that they're acting foolish. Okay. I'm not into the blind leading the blind, enabling people thing. Like Scrappy has a wife and kids. His friends should be more responsible in the advice that they give him and not be enabling him, for all of this mess. And how much money is this man really doing making shows? Or doing shows? Like I would advise him to try doing something else right now. Like continue making music, but like make new songs instead of doing these little club things. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Now, so one of his friends, guys, who is this guy? I don't know who he is. I didn't get to catch his name, but he's so like interesting. First of all, he is there at this event that Rashida and Kirk were doing to do a tasting for like their new bistro restaurant that they're launching, revamping and everything. And Bambi is upset with him because he made a joke about like Scrappy kind of like moving on or whatever from his fight and his relationship with her. And so she's crying about having kids and whatnot. And like, these are real tears, you guys. Like she is really, really heartbroken about the situation. And obviously that's not funny. But the image of her crying to this man as he holds like plates of like chicken and just like whatever else it is that he's eating, just staring at her dumbfounded was absolutely hilarious. Talk about awkward. He's just trying to eat his damn food. By the way, the portion control is out of its mind there. So I will remind you guys, if you're new to my channel or if you've been to my channel, but you're not aware, I live in France. Okay. And so in general, portions are so much smaller here. So whenever I watch like American shows and I see the size of like food that people will shove on their plates, like full blown mountains, or when I see them having sodas from like, fast food places or whatever, it just makes me laugh, like the size of them. I'm like, well, no wonder, you know what I mean? Like that is insane to me, like the amount of food on those damn plates, but I digress. So another thing that's quite weird about Scrappy, right? So he's got these kids with Bambi and stuff. And at the time he was married to her, but for whatever reason, I don't know if he was having financial difficulties or what, but he stopped paying his half of the rent. And Bambi wasn't aware, which I don't buy because let me tell you guys something. As a landlord, typically when there is a couple renting for me, it's the woman who I am conversing with who is handling everything. Okay. And even if not, like within a relationship and whatnot, like if your tenants are not paying you, you would make sure to contact the two of them. If you're not getting through to one person, you put the two of them in a text or in an email, right? So the idea that this man had not been paying his half of the rent for months on end, and Bambi had no idea. I'm sorry, but I'm calling BS on that. And so ultimately they had to like pick up and move their apartment or whatever. Like, I don't know. I think the two of them were just having money problems or something like that. And Scrappy may be the main cause of it or whatever, but something about that story was a little bit fishy to me, just based off my own experiences as a landlord. So At this point, Bambi decides, well, what's the point of this man? He can't even pay bills and he cheats on me. And I love that, like, girl, there literally is no point in a man like that. Throw him to the bushes. You're a gorgeous girl. You're in amazing shape. You will find another guy and a better guy. So you're fine. Right. And so you see them moving out of their house and everything. And mind you, it was a very beautiful home. So that was quite a sad sight to see. I won't lie. And she decides that she's going to be moving out with the kids, but without Scrappy. He is not joining them because don't forget, Bambi has filed for divorce at this point, which good for her. So as they're packing, Scrappy is acting all nonchalant and stuff, like nothing is his fault. And then when she's like, well, why are you acting all nonchalant and stuff? He's like, well, what do you want me to do? You want to act like everything's my fault. You don't want to fight for your family. I'm sorry, but what part of putting up with complete and utter disrespect and humiliation is fighting for your family? Scrappy, you were not fighting for your family. You were fighting for Coochie in the DMs. Okay. So don't put this on Bambi. I really cannot stand that sort of manipulation. And I'm glad that she saw right through it and kept on, with her duct tape, getting ready to tape up her boxes and keep it moving. So and mind you, it's not even just a cheating, when he goes, oh, you don't seem worried about keeping your family together. No, putting up with a cheater is not keeping my family together. It's keeping the disrespect going. And number two, Scrappy, were you trying to keep your family together by not paying the rent, by getting the family evicted from the house? Is that your idea of keeping the family together? Is that your idea of being a man? I'm sorry, but like today's men have so much audacity. You can't even pay your own bills for your family, yet you're trying to get with another woman. Please get your life together. Literally, just you've got nothing to offer a woman at that point. Not good character and not even money. And I'm sorry, but if you can't have good character, at least have some damn money. I'm embarrassed for him. Anyway, you guys, that does it. A recap of what went down on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, season 11, episode 1. Now, what did you think about everything that went down? What parts of the episode really jumped out to you? Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.